Okay, so we keep on going on this writing across of the unexpected at the 2-4 profile. You get to be my favorite lines. Shaking hands with the devil. Second line, distasteful alliance. Between the 38 and the 57, it's the only place where you actually get in duality, the sense that you can advantage by it rather than disadvantage by it. This is tasteful alliance that is built into the second line about understanding something, that the devil is your partner. If you don't know that, you don't know anything about love. That's shaking hands with the devil, I tell you. It's like saying none of this works. We know that. However, I think it maybe both of us can get somewhere that neither of us can get that alone. Yes, it looks like that. Okay, so let's see if we can get there. You recognition of both of oh boy, when these things, you're going to have to work, struggle, and all that stuff that comes with it. But in the end, what you're looking for is the other recognizes is your potential. That is what I describe when you look at this romance process through the emotional system. That when individual lovers first meet each other, they spend an enormous amount of time trying to find out about each other, exploring. When you come over to the splenic side, you have to be able to see something in the other that impressions you. Otherwise, it won't work. And if the other is the devil, there's something even about the devil that you should be able to find to admire, I suppose. A means, however unsavory, that is unjustified by its end, when the game turns to a struggle. The intuitive acceptance of any alliance in order to win. Oh, I love this. Remember, it's a game of risk taking. And this is the winning in the sense of the library of Babylon, the great lottery of Babylon. If you can both get to a place that you want and you can only get there by going with the other, it doesn't matter as long as you get to the goal. It doesn't matter. The goal is the winning. It's like finding out what you really do has a purpose. There's an enormous victory. Yeah, it's not pointless. And the anxiety engendered by sacrificing higher principles that there is no guarantee of success. How many couples where there is one couple that has abandoned their higher principles in order to find the purpose with the other person? You have to see that there's a certain coldness here because it's planning. It's like my goal is that I don't want to be poor, so you've got money and I can make you feel good because I'm beautiful. And now we can make feel good because you're rich and we can fulfill our purpose together. It can be very cold, but that isn't to say it's not love. The interesting thing about individuality is that individuality realizes that it's all individual anyway, that it's always alone anyway. And it's a nice illusion that to have as long as it gets you somewhere. You're only interested in getting to the purpose. So you have a 2-4 and you know very clearly that the only thing that's going to bring that 2-4 is that the devil's going to show up at its door and promise it something that it didn't think it could get by itself. And it's far beyond the promise of survival. It's all about always having a mirror that makes you look good. It's like just about having a mirror that makes you look good. It's about somebody in your life that says, hey, you're doing great. And it's about somebody in your life saying, I like what you did. That's nice. The whole thing about individuality is that individuality is always about I and me. You go to integration and you get to the 20th gate and it all says I am. It doesn't say we are. It never says we are. It never says we are in love. It says I'm in love. There's no we here. It's hard to find as we here. Potential lies in the 45, and it's really not there. Individuality is really the principle of love in order to reach its goal. I'm not married to him because I love him. I'm married to him or to her because we have a good life and it works. He's okay. He leaves me alone. I'm okay. She leaves me alone. We empower each other. It works out just fine. Now, obviously, there will be things that will be sacrificed in such a relationship. But when you see that 28 is interested in fulfilling its purpose, that it will take any risk to be able to find and celebrate the unexpected, that they can actually find their purpose. 2-4s and 2-5s in this situation, because they're very wary, in which they're both trying to avoid at the same time being open to those calling them out. And this is where the deepest risks take place. It's a very risky to connect yourself to someone who's truly only interested in themselves. This is individuality after all. And unless both beings are equally interested in themselves, it doesn't really work. It's a real risk. After all, it can be a one way empowerment. That's called support. And that's tribal. After all, the collective is there to share. What you're looking at in individuality is that the only when empowerment is mutual, only when it's mutual, only then you're going to have a successful bond. So the one who knocks on the door, the one who calls you out, not only are there for there to empower you, but there's an opportunity unless you can in return empower them. The joke of it is that the individual relationship in spirit, the better they are, the further apart they move. Now again, you're still flying in space, but there's this fulfillment that is taking place in the inner process, because this is the individual way to find her I am, and that I am their purpose through that. One of the things about individuality is that if it lasts long enough, it might last forever. An individual finds something that they like. They will not go looking for something else, whether it's a part of clothes until it falls off the body, or something they like to eat, or whatever the case may be. They will stay with somebody to the end, even though in empowerment they are truly in their own worlds. But then again, isn't that the truth? That this purpose being fulfilled? When you're in your own bubble and you're not alone, there's somebody that you can still see they're moving along with you. Then we go to the 2-5 on the writing across of the unexpected. The 2-5 in this particular situation is really going to be subject to being allowed only one failure. It's very, very deep thing. Nothing will destroy an individual more and can for their whole life than to make a commitment to empower another who does not empower them in return. When you talk about people who have broken hearts, you always talk about individuals who did not receive empowerment for the return of the empowering the other. And for most individual in the melancholy, because they are not collective, they do not say it because of the other. They will blame themselves. Yeah, I got that. I'm blaming myself for a lot of stuff that I did not do. I couldn't do anything about it. I'm just blaming